Welcome back now. If you're just joining us, you're still on to the press, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN TV. Right about now, we have with us Israel Fagbemigun. He's a journalist, and with him we're going to be doing the analysis to some of the headlines we have just read to you. Good morning, Mr. Israel.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Israel. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome to the studio. Yeah. I think I should remind our viewers that our phone lines are open for you to call and make your contributions known.
And once again, I'd like to thank you for keeping to your words, because last week you promised to be here again, and even without the call, you still made it down. Thank you once again. Yeah, a man who puts his money where his mouth is, right?
It's a true man.
Okay, it's been a week of twists and turns in Nigeria. The death of Major General Olamide, who died at 78. The suspension of some of the G5 governors, the counter suspension of the PDP national chairman, and some comments that has been dubbed as inciting and ethnic profiling by elder statesman Chief Dr. Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, where at the Anambra State celebration of Governor Soludo's 1 year in office, where he made some statements. Let's take it up from there. I believe you must have seen you must have seen the visuals. Let's take it up from there. What are your thoughts on?
Yes, I think the man involved, I didn't believe it when I saw the video from other sources on social media until I listened to it on channels television. And I was surprised. I don't expect such a man to use such words on any set of people in the country, let alone the Yoruba people. I've never seen a tribe, not because I'm Yoruba, but I've never seen a tribe that is as accommodating as the Yoruba guy, as the Yoruba tribe. And what he said is the easy definition of it is class defamation. That's class defamation. You can't call people rascals. You can't. For me, it's totally unguided. I saw the damage control press statement by Adeniyi saying that he didn't call Yorubas rascals, but it is those that are making trouble in Lagos. But he doesn't need to use such words, because what's not said needs to be retrieved and cannot be misinterpreted. So I feel that it's a lesson for the people who are at the top echelon of our political hierarchy. And I'm most disappointed that Chief Uche can be seated in a place where such words will be used and there will be no correction recorded from him. Because I expect him that, being a father of the nation by his status, he should forward such utterances at the first glance. But it's most unfortunate that an elder statesman, just as rightly mentioned, addressed him. We use such words. If there are crises, it can be. Everybody cannot be the cause of the crisis. Of course, there were crises in eastern states. There were people recorded to have been attacked. Even there was an isolated case of killing as a result of support for the APC in the southeast. Nobody has come out to say that doesn't give anybody any reason to come out and tell them and call them political rascals. I feel that it is most unguided and thoroughly thoughtless from such a man that is expected to be a leader, a fire, an influence on the system. So that's my thought.
Talking about leaders and influence on the system, it's as though most of our leaders, as supposed leaders in quote, are people that would want to go for their own personal interests ahead of national interest. That's why that kind of statements can be coming from someone like him, don't you think?
I think that much more than the issue of personal interest, I think the statement is born out of maybe delicate sleep. Will I call it sleep of tongue? Because I couldn't believe my ears. he had no reason whatsoever to call that. If you are saying Yorubas are rascals, that means you are saying everybody in Yoruba is a rascal, and that cannot be true. That can't be true. The fact that they were accommodated in Lagos and they have been accommodated everywhere within the Southwest, and they are doing their businesses, is booming. They are having their ways in the business world. Is a testament to the fact that they can't be dealing with rascals and they'll have their ways. They'll have it like that. So I think that it's just some thoughtless use of words.
Just like you said, that the fact that they are doing their business, for instance, in a place like Lagos and they are thriving, but in their own definition, Lagos belongs to no man. And the UK is also coming out to say that Lagos should be a cosmopolitan city. Probably shouldn't be a thing of, oh, this is the particular tribe that are supposed to be here, that owns this particular location. So in their own perspective, or in his own perspective, he may not even be seeing it like, oh, people are thriving in Lagos or other tribes are thriving in Lagos. He might be looking at it from the angles of course it's a cosmopolitan city, we're making the money belongs to nobody.
Well, I think that it's another thoughtless use of words to say that Lagos belongs to no man, because every land has Aborigine inhabitants, and whoever gets there first is the owner. That's how land areas were colonized in the early days of the country. And the UK should not be the one to tell us our stories. So they should hold their peace and allow us be. How will you say Lagos is not is a no man's land, is a cosmopolitan city? Who doesn't know that? Is Abuja not a cosmopolitan city?
Of course.
Are there no Aborigine bandits who lay claim to lands in Abuja? If I want a plot of land now in Abuja, will I just go there and will I just go anywhere that I can find a house and go and colonize the place and build a house?
Sorry,
won't I pay?
Let's quickly take this call. I'd like to hold your thoughts. Apologies. Hello, good morning, Elder Zion. Hello, good morning, sir. You're welcome to the press.
Thank you very much.
Please join the conversation, Elder Zion.
Can you hear me?
Very well, sir.
Alhassan, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Francis.
Good morning, Elder Zion.
And then Mr. Israel. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. You see, it's unfortunate that the words of people whom I can call hoodlums, political hoodlums, are doing in Lagos is causing problem now between the Yoruba and the Igbo. It's very unfortunate. I've been with Yoruba people in just here more than 40 years. I've never had any problem, or Igbos having problem with Yoruba. My best friends here are Yoruba people. We are business partners. I don't have cause to say something wrong about them. You see, when the food comes, they don't say it. When people like Yoruba, and the rest are making organic statements. Brother Israel, who is with you here, he didn't say anything. We didn't hear anything from any party. Tinubu did not say anything. They continue killing Igbos. They continue burning their properties. That is not the case. What I will suggest that Yoruba leaders and Igbo leaders come together and find a lasting solution to this problem.
All right.
Because nobody benefits. You see, pressure of life. Innocent people will die. People will be offered. People will be widowed for what they don't know anything about. That is what I want to offer. They can come together and they hold the current killings of Igbo in Lagos State. Whether Lagos is for anybody or not, it's not the case. They
All right.
The member of the House of Assembly. How do you see the type of celebration in one women cannot get fucked?
All right, Zion.
That is supposed to be. May God help us to live in peace.
Amen.
Amen.
God.
Amen. All right. Thank you very much, Elder Zion. Thank you. Amen.
All right, now, Mr. Israel, before we let the Chief Dr. Iwanyawu statement, before we let it slide, Afenifere has waded into the situation, and according to the spokesperson, they have said they are still studying. They are studying the video to really ascertain what has been said, because a section of the media are saying a part of the video has been doctored, but there's another version of the video that doesn't seem to have by any way been tampered with, and now the Afenifere has been talking tough on the situation. Now looking at Afenifere's body language before the election period, obviously Afenifere pitched their tent with a candidate of that is not of the Yoruba origin. What's your feel about this, about Afenifere? Should Afenifere be taken any serious?
Well, I think that I should start from what the last caller said.
Yes.
When he said none of us condemned when none of us condemned the words of Femi Kayode and others.
Yes.
I can remember that I was one of those, particularly on this program the last time I was there, who condemned the unguided use of words by Femi Kayode. And I think if you still have it on your record, I said I outrightly condemned it. Then these people who are saying that Yorubas are rascals, are they saying that somebody like Adebanjo, who is about the biggest supporter of their candidate, I mean the LP presidential candidate, Peter Obi, who was the one that was going everywhere for him, granting press statements almost every other week for him. Are they saying that he is also a rascal? And I feel that yes, what Afenifere said was my point, was my immediate point of reaction to the video, because when I saw the one on social media, I felt it was doctored. But when I now listened to one on Channels Television, I was like, does this reporter or does anybody who goes to cover this have any reason to doctor this video? Because I don't expect such a man to use such words. I don't expect it. I'm sure that Afenifere themselves will be very surprised that somebody, that's a tribe that they have gone all out for, is now turning back to say, to use such words on the group that they represent, on the Yoruba nation that they represent. But all the same, the words of the man are very condemnable. They should not be encouraged, and they should not be heard from any man, let alone a man of his status.
Now, I can see there's this headline on the Daily Sun, still on this ethnicity and all that. They say UK places 10 Nigerians on visa watch list over ethnic profiling. And I also saw a statement that I think Pandev said UK should not interfere in our issues. What's your take on that?
I think these UK, US countries, I don't know what they think they are, but they don't have the powers they are releasing themselves. Yes, you place somebody on watch list. Of what benefit would that be to the person? Of what going to your country, normally they go and spend their money there. So your country is not heaven, your country is not Jerusalem, your country is not I really don't think that. I think it's our people who are pushing the influence that they really don't have to them, because you say you place somebody on watch list. I'm not saying ethnic profiling is good, but of course it should not be their business. They should allow us to fight our fights and get to where we are, get to where we wish to be. Because part of the problem of Nigeria is foundationally from them. Because they gave us this battle that they delivered to us, this battle that we are fighting till today, and we have not been able to pull through with it. They caused most of the crises that are happening in Nigeria today from foundation level. So I think that the UK should just, for now, I think they should hold their peace and face their own issues. There are issues in their country too. No system is perfect. No,
absolutely.
There are protests almost every month from one section of the country to the other about workers complaining of not having the best of conditions in their country.
Because you mentioned protests, but let's quickly take this call before I say something on protests. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome to the press. Fine, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, God bless you. My name is Chief Arel from Kaduna.
Chief Arel, you're welcome to the press.
So I want to quickly react to your analyst. He's making about UK shortlisting some Nigerians. Your analyst should know that there are a lot of politicians in Nigeria whereby they have all their investments in that UK. Don't be deceived that what are the UK, why do they have to blacklist us? They know what they are doing. All the stolen money are with them. And that is why politicians are afraid in Nigeria of being blacklisted. They know what they are doing. Then let me quickly go to ethnic profiling with particular reference to Fani Kayode. You see, it is very unfortunate that at this time that Nigeria is, we are not talking about citizenship. We are talking about ethnicity. You see, what happened in Lagos was very appalling. I am from the southwest, a typical Yoruba man, but I'm not happy with what is happening in Lagos. Let me tell you, my brother and my sister over there. Badebo is a Yoruba. I know that he's a mixed blood. That's what make him to segregate him. That's what make him not to be a Nigerian. You see, the way the Igbos were treated in Lagos was very appalling. You will remember that Bayo Onanuga, the spokesperson of Bola Tinubu, he made some poisonous propaganda, which is not palatable at all. He made a statement in Lagos that the Igbos should not come near election in Lagos. And the Oba of Lagos some time ago also said if the Igbos doesn't say, he will throw them into Lagoon. And we are saying, I'm very annoyed this morning of what is happening in Lagos. It is not good. Let us condemn it to its totality. Why? Are they Igbos? Are they not Nigerian? Are they not...
All right, thank you very much. Your point is well noted. You want to respond to that?
I think that we shouldn't get emotional about all this, because I see that the last caller was quite emotional about it. You see, nobody is encouraging the violence, pockets of violence that came with the elections in Lagos. Nobody is encouraging the fact that some non-state actors who should by no means be seen as the face of the Yoruba nation are being promoted beyond their capacity to the extent that they now see their voices are now heard as the voice of the Yoruba.
Authority, okay.
I think the last caller and a number of other elites in the system are misinterpreting whatever Mtuluomo and Co says to what Yoruba says, and that's not good enough. For me, it's not good enough. I think that it is only good if people of thoughts come together and look at how we can coexist peacefully to the benefit of all and in tandem with the progress and interest of all. Because, yes, I don't want to dive into the politics of how Gbadebo contested and lost the election. But what I am concerned about is the fact that if Bayo Onanuga, Femi Fani-Kayode and Co, who are known to be to have the style of use of unguided choices of words are misbehaving. If MC Oluomo is acting like the quote and unquote tout that is being known for, must somebody of the status of the leader of also follow through? It's just like a pig fight. You know that a pig is used to mud, and you are dressed in clean attire, and you want to go and fight a pig. Nobody is condemning, nobody is encouraging what is happening in Lagos, what happened in Lagos. And the truth is that it didn't only happen in Lagos, it happened everywhere. Everywhere there is contention, it happened. In the southeast, it was more. It's just that the truth is, the concentration is more on Lagos because more of the young elites who are first timers in the system, in the political system, and who are major influencers in the social media and in the online industry, entertainment industries, are concentrated in Lagos. That's why you see most of those isolated cases being illuminated, blown beyond the reality of what they really are.
But some, sorry to cut you, some persons said it, however, that most of those things are underreported, even if you think it was blown out of proportion. Now let's talk about protests that has been happening. In Nasarawa State, I saw women protesting. I think when I listened to one of the reports, the woman was stating that they need to take back their mandates, that the governor-elect, so the incumbent governor, is not supposed to have won the seat, and they need to take back their mandates. I'm beginning to wonder, will protests ever solve electoral issues?
Well, I think that majority of our people have not grown from the state of being emotional to being realistic about what obtains in our political system. What you have to understand is that all you need to do during an election, you have to do it to make sure you mobilize people to vote. Once the election is conducted and a winner is announced, the only left option that is civil in our society is the court. So, and any attempt to want to add emotions to it by the way of protest, by the way of making inflammatory statements, making statements that can plunge the society into violence, will mean that you are contributing to the gradual destruction of our democracy. So our people must understand that, yes, I'm neither confirming nor refuting the fact that there were infractions in a number of states where the smartest of the cheats go away with the cheating they do to the system. But the truth is the fact that all the major political parties cheated in their areas of comparative strength. Whether or not their opponents now recognize the fact that there was cheating and they were able to combat it is another different ballgame. But once an election is conducted and a winner is announced, the next option is the courts.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we move on. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, my name is Idris. I'm from the pastor.
All right, please join the conversation.
I want to talk about the hostile nature of the negotiations towards the Igbos.
Okay.
The truth is that the way our so-called candidate, Peter Obi, what he used to make his campaign structure was something that we have been clamoring against. We have been against trying to mix religion with politics. It is very, very, very delicate. Outside the ethnicity side of it, because we know that the Yorubas voted for their own, Igbo voted for their own, some part of the Hausa voted for their own. But religion is a very, very dangerous area to temper into. That is the problem you are seeing today. And to make matters worse, saying that Lagos is a no man's land, you don't expect the people to sit down and listen to you. They will stand up no matter how short they are. If you want to know this, go to the street, see a very short man and talk to him and make him feel that he is short. If you want to do something, the top people used to do. But I mean, they are just trying to claim their land back. Because you see that Igbos have become so comfortable that they forget that they are Igbos. That is what we are seeing today. And our leaders, those ones, so somebody like the former administrator somewhere in Lagos, who is saying that Tinubu is not a negotiation. When you say such a thing, you see, you are already creating this thing gradually. Then the hatred that Obasanjo has for Tinubu, all those things begin to come up. So if we want to down this tension, let your Johannes, I am an Igbo man, let Johannes and Igbo come out and say, anybody that says that Lagos is a no man's land is lying. That Lagos belongs to Yoruba. So you Johannes will say that everything will die down. That's all. I think that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution.
All right, you want to quickly react to that?
I think the last caller is more reasonable, more factual, and more nationalistic in his approach to this issue. The truth is, the actions and inactions of the leaders are the ones controlling the system. They are the ones either causing trouble in the system, or that they are the ones that can make the peace that we want to happen in our time.
In our time.
Because it's just not appropriate for you to say that Lagos is a no man's land. It's not appropriate. It's not. It's just not. That's the fairest way I can describe it. It's not appropriate.
All right, now let's go to the PDP now, where we've seen suspensions and counter suspensions. Barely 5 days after the suspension of some members of the G5 governors, including former Governor Adeniyi Fayose, for what has been described as anti-party activities. In PDP Benue ward, that's the ward of the national chairman, now has released a statement also suspending the national chairman on the grounds of failing to pay his annual subscription fees. That's under the PDP constitution, section 8 subsection 9, and also some of his allies playing anti-party activities at the presidential and governorship elections. What's your take on this, considering the fact that PDP just lost the presidential elections, and Iyorchia Ayu, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, before now he was not even settled because there were calls for his head as the national chairman of the PDP. Now he's been suspended, and before now we even saw Governor Wike, who is also who is the leader of the G5 governors, saying that Iyorchia Ayu does not have the right to suspend anybody. What's your take on this?
Well, I think it's a process of crisis and more crisis that may eventually lead to some lasting peace in the PDP. Because there's a particular thought that says that the way to resolve crisis is to cause more. So that when you cause more and everybody is in a standstill, we will now sit down and realize that we are now all affected. I think the case of PDP is such that the party leaders have not been able to conquer their personal interest and be able to subject it to the general interest of the party. Because that's the only interpretation that you can give to the fact that Ayu refused to step down, Atiku Abubakar refused to yield to the party's interest when it comes to choosing the vice president. Ayo Fayose and Co. refused to yield to the party's interest when it comes to governorship in both in both Lagos and a number of other and Ekiti. all this is just to the fact that there's little or no respect for the party and general interest of the party or the party members, and of course it's about what the leaders want. But I don't think that IU will survive this suspension. I think it's just the beginning of the end of his era as chairman, as national chairman of the party, because the anti-party offences on which he presided over a committee that suspended some people and placed some people under disciplinary questioning. He's also guilty of it, and it has been proven by those who granted a press statement from his own word. So if you are guilty of an offence that as the number one member of the party, because the number one member of the party is the chairman of the party, as a leader of the party, if you are guilty of the offence and the allegation was corroborated by the result of the election, the fact that you lost your polling unit and your ward to the opposition, then I don't know what explanation you are going to give to vindicate yourself from the allegation. But
at the same time, because there was another thing I wanted to ask, but when you made the statement that he lost his word, but he's just a man with a single vote, right? So it's as simple as, at this point and at this stage where we are now, nobody influences anybody anymore. But out on the side, does this party, I mean the ward now in local government area, do they have that right to suspend the national chairman of the party?
That was the same process that started Oshomole's exit.
Okay.
That was the same process that started Oshomole. At some point, Secondus was also suspended from his ward. That was it. You see, the truth is, on your first question about one man having only one vote, it's not always like that. People influence people's decision. There are single individuals that influence how a whole local government will be voted in this country.
But there's an awakening now. So
you see, that awakening it only exists on the social media and the metropolis. If you go to what happens in the grassroots, they still listen to people. How do you, if there's an awakening, how do you explain the fact that Kwankwaso, who picked his son-in-law as the governorship candidate of a party, a relatively new party, defeated two big political parties in Kano? So that's to tell you that in reality there is still a whole lot of huge influence, and the influence of a national chairman of a party is not small. If he wants to win, he will win. It's about coordinating your people. It's about telling them.
He just said if he wants to win, he will win. So you think he deliberately threw in the towel in his polling unit and
well, for me, that's the only interpretation of what happened to him. Even if there will be a mistake in your ward, there should not be such mistake in your polling unit. If a national chairman is not a small office, my brother. It's not. The national chairman is bigger than, if he knows his honor, is bigger than a governor. So you can imagine that a governor in an election lost his own unit.
But the national chairman of the APC too lost his polling unit.
He lost his
the presidential election.
I'm not sure if he lost his polling unit, but I know that he lost his ward and they lost in the state.
They lost in the state.
The polling unit is the smallest unit that you can easily control. Everybody who is not on ground in his polling unit is joking, because all politics is local. And local politics is not played on social media or on the page of the newspaper. It's not played on the headline. These narratives, we have to get the fact that it is not correct that a man is only entitled to his vote. As small as I am, I still control 15 to 20 votes in my polling unit. My younger ones, my direct or indirect dependents, I don't need to tell them this is what. Once the election is tomorrow, they will ask, where are we going? That's how it works. Let alone, that's just the me, a journalist, and just somebody considered as having relative level of influence. Now you now compare to when you are talking about the national chairman of a party. A lot of things come with it. So it only takes either deliberate actions or sabotage, just as rightly mentioned.
So you want to probably think that the party, they're actually right when they said he worked for the opposition.
Well, I don't have a confirmation of that, but I think he has not acted. His actions and inactions have not proven them wrong.
Let's talk about cash. Should I say, I don't know what word to use for it, but it's beginning to, there's a sort of relief that's coming in. I don't know if you now have access to cash already, but I noticed that some banks are already disbursing funds, but some PS points are still extorting people, selling money out to people.
Well, I know that if what the CBN did and what the banks did during the weekend continues to the end of this week, I think that at least to the extent of 60 to 70%, we should be out of the issue of cash scarcity, because it was really deliberate. Though in some isolated cases, some banks did not open because they didn't have the cash. But at least I know about very popular banks who opened and were able to give as much as 50K to each individual. And that's a good one. So I think the actions of the CBN was probably motivated by the fear that the nation is going to plunge into another crisis if they allow NLC to do what they have threatened to do. So I know that they move within themselves now that the cash policy, Naira policy is a complete failure now. And that's why they are reversing. It's an admittance that what we did is wrong. If you say that we have to continue to endure before, and all of a sudden you turn around to say we can't endure again, it's going to push out the cash.
Now, if there is an admittance now that what they have done is wrong, now let's look at the amount of money that has been spent on implementing this policy. I think somebody somewhere should be answering some very important questions at this point now. So
what's just the way? Questions, or somebody should be facing some sort of penalty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what should be the way forward from here now? Because a lot of money has been spent on redesigning these notes, on implementing this policy, and now we are going back to the same spot we left off after spending this amount of money.
Sorry, sir. I wanted to also make mention of the woman that died in Kano because of funds that the hospital needed to confirm before they begin treatment on her. You can't reverse her life. A
certain journalist died on his way home. Okay. He was walking home because he couldn't access cash for
the things you've suffered, for the things I have suffered, and a lot of other persons have suffered.
Alone, the registrar of a university died on the queue. He collapsed and died on the queue in the bank trying to access cash. You see, the truth is, on probe or no probe, I don't expect this administration, owing to the fact that they are already winding up. According to the last statement that I read from the presidency, there's already a transition committee set up. So I don't expect them to have the capacity to do that kind of probe. But I think that the new administration should have a plan towards that. I think that questions should be asked. I think that people should be penalized if necessary and when necessary.
Okay.
Because, of course, it's not only established that the policy was ill-conceived, it was wrongly timed, and it was badly implemented.
All right, now, before our time is fast spent now, but in 2 minutes now, let's just quickly talk about this. INEC votes 3 billion naira to fight electoral cases. INEC votes 3 billion naira to fight electoral cases. What's your take on this?
I think that amount is not only unacceptable. INEC again looks like an agency of government that is overburdened. I think that it's high time we unbundle the INEC as we unbundled INEC as an agency. They can't be the one fighting electoral crime, be the one fighting online crime, be the one facing financial crime associated with election, and still be the one conducting the election. There should be a body that should take up the issue of electoral offences and others. And I learned that the NBA has gracefully offered to take up those cases. I think that INEC is too burdened by too many things. Their business should be elections and elections proper. Electoral matters, not offences like ballot stuffing, ballot snatching, financial crime, vote buying and others. I think that the INEC as a whole should be unbundled, and we should have sections that deal with some of the things. We should have separate bodies that deal with some of the things that they carry out as INEC, so that they can consolidate and give us a saner and a more acceptable electoral system.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fagbemigun. Thanks for your time in the studio today. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, viewers, that's where we draw the curtains on today's show. We hope to see you again tomorrow. From all of us from Nation's Capital, I am Olamide.